Welcome back to Truth or Recon. I'm Agent D. Baker, a retired narcotics detective, SWAT team member, and U.S. Navy combat veteran of OEF and OIF. With years of real-world experience in high-stakes environments, I have seen firsthand the dangers that lurk both in our communities and now increasingly online. These conversations can get raw, they can get heavy, and sometimes they may not be suitable for children, so consider this your disclaimer. But if you care about truth, justice, and accountability, then you're in the right. What's up, everybody? Hope everyone's having a good Wednesday night. It's been there's a lot of news, a lot of things that we're going to be discussing tonight, as many as we can get to anyway. There's so much I want to talk about. One of the platforms I will also be streaming on is running slow for some reason, and so we'll give it a couple more minutes before we fully get started, but it should be up and running soon. Hey, Barbara, Rhonda and Barbara, how are y'all? Hey, Denim. Carol? Yeah, Carol. Priscilla, how are you? Leanne. And almost said the one and only Katie for some reason. I hope the other Katie's not on here listening right now. I did not mean the one and only. I need to put this. There we go. Lowingo, I don't know. I haven't had time to check, but I will. As I've continuously mentioned, the Anaya Blanchard, her case, the trial was starting this week, and it did start on Monday, but they are still in jury selection. And I don't really care to sit through jury selections, so I've not gone yet, but I have not heard how it went today, so I don't know if they will still be in jury selection tomorrow. However, tomorrow is the only day this week I can't go because I have another event I have to attend tomorrow. But hopefully they're up and running by Friday, and I'll be there Friday, or at least by Monday. I don't know what's wrong with TikTok. It's loading, so I don't know what's going on with it. Not in the woods. Well, I'm glad to hear that, Priscilla. Lee, good evening to you. Hey, Ann. Is it Annie? Annie, I'm guessing. Yes. Yeah, that's one thing we're going to be talking about tonight for sure is Aaron Spencer did win the Republican primary for Lonoke County in Arkansas, and that is just, I'm telling you, I couldn't hardly sleep last night after finding out. I was so excited. I legit wanted to just jump back on live. And I was very close to at like 2 a.m. because I just couldn't sleep. I was so excited about that and pumped up, especially the numbers. Wow, he not only won, he won by a landslide. I thought we had an agreement, Lowingo, that was what I was going to call you from now on. had a whole discussion about it. Excuse me, I still got a little under the weather, so I still sound a little strange. All right, hold on. I think we got this other one up, and I think it's finally about to start. All right, hopefully we're good to go on the other platform, and which means we can get fully started here. Now I got to find all my chats. Christy, you're making me feel bad, which is deserved. I don't think it's been 3 weeks, though. I think that's a slight exaggeration. Hey, Monica, how are you? How's the great state of Kentucky tonight? YouTube from my side looks like it's running. Can YouTube, can y'all see me and hear me good? Yes, no. YouTube's good. Okay. It may be something on your side, Katie. All right. So, yeah, there's so much I want to talk about. With the politics out of the way, the biggest win that the biggest one that I was most concerned about and have been behind is the Aaron Spencer running for Lonoke County Sheriff in Arkansas. If you're not familiar, if you're not familiar with Aaron's story, watch some of my podcast. I've done quite a few podcasts on it, but he was the guy that his 13-year-old daughter was taken by a child predator who had already been charged with crimes against her, as well as numerous other children. He took her in the middle of the night, and Aaron tracked them down and ended up having to take the suspect's life, Michael Fosler. And Mr. Chuck Graham, which we're going to talk about, because he put out a video today, or an interview that's not shocking to me at all. And Charles Chuck Graham is the district attorney for Lonoke County in Arkansas. And he is the one that's been pushing for these charges because they charged Aaron with the big one. And no matter what, we'll not drop it. And there's been tons of drama with it even going to trial, with the Arkansas State Supreme Court having to jump in numerous times to overrule the judge that was going to be presiding over the case, the trial. Thankfully, they removed her. Tons of things. But anyway, so last night, Aaron Spencer did wrap up and completely win the Republican primary there in Lonoke County, and by a landslide too. It wasn't even close, and that gives me a lot of hope. I think our wish is going to come true there, which is, could you make a better movie? Like, seriously. I mean, you can take the Walking Tall movie, and that is not going to be anything compared to this movie. Anybody disagree? I mean, it's just an unbelievable, amazing story. And everything that Aaron and his family has overcome to get to where they are now. Can you imagine the fight they've had in them? Like, how were they even able to get out of bed every day going through what they're going through? And not only that, he's now won the primary for sheriff. I mean, it doesn't get better than this. I mean, finally, the good guy is winning. It's amazing. We got that, and then, hold on one second. Y'all give me 1 minute, and I'll be right back. All right. So I saw some people complaining about the sound. Is that better? I immediately knew what the problem was when I saw that. So thank y'all for bringing that to my attention. Yeah, I don't think you could. I mean, you can't make a better movie. And then another big win for me was Dan Crenshaw out. That guy has, you talk about disappointment. And I remember how excited I was when he announced he was running. And then how excited I was when he won. And then what he has done since he's been there. I don't know what the hell happened to the guy. Or, well, I know what happened to him. Money. He let money completely take over his life. And he sold out. And I still can't believe I have to say that. Like, it doesn't even sound right. But the people have spoken. And his final straw, I mean, he's, I know he's intelligent. But whoever he's getting advice from, my goodness, maybe the same person that Nick Smith's getting advice from. Because him thinking or not realizing that it was going to be completely detrimental to him and the final straw or the final nail in the coffin to go after Sean Ryan of all people. I knew then he's done. Thankfully. I mean, I was glad that it happened because I knew then he's done. And now the people have spoken. I just, again, and then Jasmine Crockett. You can't make this stuff up. For over 4 years, she has screamed how it was a disgrace and un-American for anyone, especially the Republicans, to say that it was even possible for an election to be rigged or stolen or anything. And now she is saying that. She lost in the Democratic primary. And she's bringing Republicans into that. Like they had anything to do with that. No. Her voters understood, finally realized this woman's an idiot. Just like Dan Crenshaw's people did. But yeah, those are two big wins. But again, the most excitement for me was Aaron Spencer. And I spoke very short about Chuck Graham, the district attorney there in Lonoke County, and he's put out an interview today. And again, it doesn't shock me. This man is just as corrupt as anyone in Walker County, Alabama. And if you've been following me or my podcast, you know how bad it is there. Well, it's just as bad, if not worse, in Lonoke County. And Chuck Graham is the leader. I mean, and he doesn't even try to hide it. He takes the good old boy system to a whole other level. And God, he pisses me. Every time he opens his mouth, he pisses me off. And this interview is no different. Let me get that pulled up, and we're going to play that right quick. By the way, on a side note, I was looking through my notes. If you're a veteran and interested in becoming a teacher and you're in Alabama, they just passed a new law. The governor just signed a new bill today into law that streamlines that process because we're needing teachers very badly. And I think it's a good thing the way this law is written up. But if you're a veteran and good conduct, obviously throughout your career, and with an honorable discharge, and then 60 hours of college credits with at least like a 2.5 GPA. And there's a few other requirements, but they're easy. Then you can become a teacher in Alabama right now. So again, I think it's really cool. And I want to say this about Chuck Graham, the guy I'm about to show y'all this interview of. If you've never seen him, picture in your mind what a corrupt old white guy, OWGs as I call them, in the South, attorney, prosecutor would look like. Just picture that in your mind. And you're probably going to be pretty spot on to what this guy looks like. Hold on, I got to fix this screen. How many people were close? All right. Uh-oh. Let me fix the sound.
Sediment and stuff, even if you are going to support that, if you believe that all that public sediment and stuff, even if you are going to support that, do you really want to live in a society where people just go and kill somebody? Like the Old West, you know, like the Wild West that you had when that all went on. That's not how we operate these days, and nor do I want us to operate that way. But in this office and all around Arkansas, the prosecutors, I know every one of the elected prosecutors, and we just follow the law. That's what we do, and that's what we're continue to do, no matter what public opinion is. Because we have cases where public opinion's on the other side, where they want to take somebody out and hang them. We don't operate like that. But no, we don't live in the Wild West. If you believe that all that.
That is Chuck Graham when asked about what he thought about Aaron Spencer winning the Republican primary. Oh, I have so much I would like to say that I'm not. Watching him say those things makes me want to be a little violent. And let me be clear. I don't mean that I would be violent towards him. I mean, it makes me want to just, punch a wall or something. It just frustrates me to no end. Do we really want to live in a society where you can just go around and do that? That's not, number one, that's not what happened. That's not even freaking close to what happened. Number two, Mr. Graham, if you were doing your job the way you should have been doing it, this predator would not have been out on the streets to where he could have gone and got the girl. And you have the gall to sit there and say that? Wow. Mm. He let that man out on a $50,000 bond. Multiple victims. He let him out on a $50,000 bond. And he was ordered to have no contact with any of his victims, obviously. And what did he do? He went and kidnapped one of his victims in the middle of the night from her own house. And Graham is acting like Aaron Spencer's just out here running around taking people's lives. Mm. When I saw that for the first time today, oh God. Well, Mr. Graham, the people have spoken there in Lonoke County. In fact, they've spoken so loud, it is obvious. There is not a chance in hell you're going to get reelected when that comes. In fact, I would bet you probably leave the office, that you go ahead and hang it up and retire before then. Because you know there's about to be legit law and order brought to that county. And that's not what you want. Because you're not going to have Mr. Spencer in your pocket like you had the old fat white guy that Spencer just kicked out of the office. I mean, oh, that guy. And I've done a podcast on him as well. Go check that out from the past, where I go into more detail of more of his corruption. All right. Anyway, I'm just so thankful and for the citizens in Lonoke County, Arkansas. You have changed your life for the better by far. And I hope that the citizens of Walker County, Alabama are watching this same thing, and they're ready to do the same thing there. And I have a really good feeling that's what's going to happen there as well. Really good feeling. So, but, and that's what I do want the case against him dropped, is what someone just commented. Absolutely. It should have been dropped. And I'm hoping this just pushes it on over the edge. And again, as I've said from the very beginning, that prosecutor, that POS district attorney there, knows that there's not a jury, especially in the state of Arkansas, that's going to convict this man for what he did. He knows that. He's only been pushing for this trial to force the victim, who is now 14, maybe 15, to have to get on stand and relive all of those traumas again. And he knows that. That's the only reason he's doing this and the only reason he's pushing this, because he knows the jury's not going to convict the guy. And whatever power the Arkansas State Supreme Court that they have into just making this go away, that needs to happen. And I don't know how that works. Again, I have no idea, especially there in Arkansas, but that's what needs to happen. And I hope this opens their eyes that, oh, wow, over 50%, well over 50% of the voters there want this man to be sheriff. So how the hell are we going to think there's a chance in any world that the same citizens are going to convict the man of murder? It's common sense. Because I don't know that Mr. Graham realizes this as he's downing and dogging the public opinion. That's who the jurors are. Same people. Would I ever run for office? It's not off the table. I have no plans at all to do that right now, but I'm not going to say I never will. All right, let's move on. Let's see. There was so much. Let me see. Okay, so another thing that happened this week that I want to talk about and that I'm very happy about as well is just had it pulled up. Where did it go? And I was screaming this, that I hope this happened, and this is what needed to happen from the very beginning. Oh no. What did I just do? Oh, never mind. Okay. So I can't get anything to work. Okay, there we go. Colin Gray, the father of the Georgia school shooting suspect, found guilty on all counts. Now, if you're not familiar with this story, this was let me get the details. In Barrow County, Georgia, Appalachia. I couldn't remember the name of the school. That's what it was. Okay. Colt Gray, if y'all remember, went into Appalachia High School and took the lives of 2 students and 2 teachers. And yeah, I mean, this is pretty recent. I'm sure you all remember it, but the actual incident happened in September of 2024. And then it came out, and if you've not seen one of the videos that was going around for a while on this was when the police went and spoke with the father about this. And they were sitting out on the front porch or something like that of the dad's apartment. And I can't remember if he said it in that, but anyway, at some point we found out that there were tons of red flags and that Colt, this kid, had literally talked about doing something like this. His parents were well aware of all of that. And then his ignorant dad went and purchased him a firearm and gave it to him. Which is the one that he used to take these people's lives, these kids and teachers. And I think it's about freaking time we start holding parents responsible for some of these things. And I was trying to see, I didn't realize they charged him with 27 counts. And he was convicted on all accounts. So convicted of second degree and involuntary manslaughter. He was convicted on all 27 counts he faced. He will be sentenced at a later date. Second degree is punishable by at least 10 years, but no more than 30 years. While involuntary manslaughter carries a penalty of 1 to 10 years in prison. Okay, here's all the. So second degree cruelty to children, second degree, another second degree, another cruelty to children, involuntary reckless conduct. Okay. And he was only 14 when he carried out this horrific thing. But again, the red flags were there. The parents knew all about this, and this idiot still thought it was a good idea to go and purchase a firearm for him and give it to him. And so I think this is a great precedent to set, and I hope we start seeing more of this. As far as in a situation like that, where if you give your 14-year-old a firearm, I don't have anything against that, especially if you hunt, nothing at all. But you have to understand as a parent, you are still responsible for that firearm and anything that happens with it until your child becomes an adult. Simple as that. A 14-year-old should not have unsupervised access to a firearm anytime he wants it, first off. But in this case, the fact that he even had any firearms in the house with this kid, knowing what the previous things that he had said and threatened, is beyond crazy. But again, no matter how good your kid is, you are still responsible for what happens to that firearm. That's the way I look at it, and that's the way I feel about it, and nothing's going to change my mind at that. 100%. And so I'm glad, again, like I said, I think this is a great precedent, and I'm glad to see this finally happening, especially in these school situations like this, because this one should have been prevented 100%. And the first line of prevention was the parents, and they completely failed at that job. And this dad is just as responsible for what happened as that kid. You got to have a little sense. Let me go through comments right quick. Answer any questions. I don't think the mother got charged as far as I know. If you heard the mother testify in court, both parents knew he needed help, and both parents needed some help too. They had the parents come to school for a conference and suggested they take him home. The day he did it, the parents said they couldn't take him home because they were working. I didn't even know that. Wow. I did not even realize that. Mm. If you put a drunk kid in a car, you're going to face criminal charges. Same should apply to the. Absolutely. I agree. Any new info on August on how he's doing? August is doing fine. I don't have any new info on Nancy Guthrie's case. They had the video of the parents at the school and video of Colt leaving the office with his backpack on. Wow. So he had it in his backpack the whole time. Yeah, I've not researched that case enough. But I remember when I looked into a lot of it when it first happened. And because I remember analyzing one of the videos of the dad. And I didn't watch any of the trial or keep up with the trial this past week or anything. But when I saw that, I was Very, very happy. Yeah, I hope that opens a lot of parents' eyes. Ryan, I agree on. I mean, the Nanos. That's the sheriff in Pima County, Arizona, where Nancy Guthrie's missing. He's incompetent, completely incompetent. Oh no, I definitely trust the FBI more than I do Nanos. I couldn't have said that 2 years ago, but I'll definitely say that now. What's up, Munchies and Murder? How are you? Are you going to be in Macon County, or have you been? Hey, thank you, Becky. I appreciate that. Annie, I don't want to answer that because I don't know if that's public knowledge or not. All right, let's see what's up next. Oh yeah, I want to. So I spoke. I believe I spoke a little about in Monday night's live about watch out for the propaganda from Iran, for sure. You know, if they put out something, just simply don't believe it. Doesn't mean it may not turn out to be true, but at this point, don't believe it. Don't believe anything they put out. They are, I mean, they're really good at what they do. Propaganda is the communist country's main thing. They know what they're doing. And I spoke about it when I was talking about it the other day about the alleged school, girls' school that was hit allegedly by either Israeli forces or U.S. strikes, and supposedly like 165 people, including a lot of kids, were hit. And as I said the other day, I'm not saying that didn't happen, but I'm not saying it did. And if it did happen, then I would bet you Iran did it themselves just to try to make the U.S. and Israel look bad. And so I saw this today, and this is exactly, it's the first thing I thought about. Let me get this brought up. And I have verified this. This is what Iran's putting out to their people. So Iran is reporting to their people, to their citizens, that they have struck the USS Abraham Lincoln aircraft carrier, and telling their people about it. And this is the picture they're showing to their people to verify this happened. Turns out that picture is literally from a video game. But their citizens right now believe this has happened. Now, you don't think if they lie to their own people, they're not going to lie to the rest of the world? Yes. Again, they're very good at it. Do not put anything past them. Do not believe anything they put out. Nothing. And again, if that happened with the school, I about bet you Iran did it themselves. Because again, we're talking about a regime that used chemical weapons on their own people. They are ruthless. I've still not found anything saying they go to school on a Saturday. Yeah, I mean, like I said, if it did happen, and I don't doubt that the school was hit. I don't doubt that. I hope it's completely made up that a bunch of children lost their lives. Obviously, I hope that's not true. But again, Iran will do that and not think twice about it just to make the U.S. and Israel look bad. All right, let me see what else. Yeah, there was tons that I wanted to bring up. Let me see. Oh, that's it. So I did the short podcast video on the Florence, the fight brawl that broke out at a 8U basketball tournament this past weekend in Florence, Alabama. And I played the video of it, but it was just a clip. Since then, I've had numerous people, I've spoken to numerous people that were actually there. I'm trying to get the female coach. Hold on. Did that right? Hold on. I was thinking that was brought up where I could see it. All right. So you see the female coach here in the black, and she was the coach for Lawrence County, Tennessee. And hold on, Christy, I see you said you pinned a comment, but I don't see one. Oh, never mind. I see you say, okay, unpinned it. Anyway. And now, understand, I wasn't there. I don't know exactly what happened. It is being reported to me by people that were there that the Florence, the coach of the other team, which was a Florence team, is who pretty much started everything. And you can kind of, let me see. Oh, don't respond to that idiot in here on TikTok. She wouldn't know how to tell the truth to save her life. She's not getting any attention in here. But anyway, this is the full video. And so we're going to kind of go through it. I've watched it just once earlier, but I can kind of see what they were saying as far as, I don't see her do anything, but let y'all decide for yourselves. So the game just ended. Teams are lining up to shake hands. Now, right here, watch when, I'm guessing this is one of the coaches of the Florence team, the big guy in the black shirt. So you see him kind of waving his hands and pointing or something. But again, we can't see exactly what she's doing or what she's, and obviously we don't know what either one of them said. But you can tell she's mad and he's mad. But then they shake hands. And hold on, let me back it up. Now, look right here. This guy in the black shirt, who I'm going, and I don't know for sure, but I'm guessing this is the female coach's husband. And so he sees, hold on, what's going on over there? and you see him start running over there. And then he goes straight to this guy, who is another coach, I'm guessing. And they get in each other's face. And I can't tell who pushed who first. I not from that angle. I've watched it a couple times, like I said, and half the time I think the guy that ran across the court pushed first, and then half the time I think the other guy pushed first. I can't tell. But he gets pushed to the ground, and in the other video that we watched the other day, you can see his head bounces off the court. But again, you can't actually. That's what we'll do. We'll go back and watch that video again to see if we can tell if one pushed who first. But that, and then anyway, then the fight breaks out. But so what's being reported to me by numerous people that were there. Now, full transparency, everyone that I've spoken with about it is from the Lawrence County side. But they said that the coaches for Florence kind of got in her face and was saying some things they shouldn't have, kind of pinned her up a little bit. And you can kind of see that again a little bit. And again, her husband notices something's going on, and he comes running across there, and then here we are. And I'm trying to see, and I'm hoping that I will actually get to interview her, and we'll hear her side. And if that does happen, then I'll also try to contact the Florence coaches, and we'll see if they will sit for an interview, and we'll just see. But then you see it just keeps going. And let's bring up the other one. Leanne, the guy that ran across the court, I think that's her husband, the coaches. Hey, moderators, start doing something on TikTok because it's running people off. People are in here, just start trouble. Get them going immediately. All right, let me see. Let me pull this other video back up. Because this is a lot clearer video. And now we know what stage of the fight this was in. That's awfully big. Hey, Lots of the Journey has been following me for a while. Did they do something? Sorry, I just saw that y'all muted them, and I don't think they needed to be muted unless y'all saw something I didn't. All right. Anyway, so let's see. Start this back from the beginning. Nah, see, this turns on after that. So yeah, we're not going to be able to see. Yeah. But I thought I saw. He must get pushed down again. Because I was thinking I saw his head bounce off the floor. Jesus. Yeah, so I don't know. I didn't see any of the comments y'all were talking about, by the way, on TikTok. Like none of them were coming through on my side. I just saw people start saying, "Can we turn the chat off? This is getting ridiculous." And so I don't know what that idiot was saying. For those on the other platforms, Brittany Stapleton had come in on TikTok, and her and some of her minions just being ignorant. She's about to be a lot more famous than she is, so she's about to get what she has wished for. In fact, in about a week. And now, one of the people working with Brittany Stapleton. Let me say that again. One of the people working with Brittany Stapleton, like on her side, best friends apparently now, is a caseworker for the Alabama Department of Human Resources, DHR. Let that sink in. And we're about to, they are going to get notified of what one of their caseworkers that's supposed to be out protecting children is doing and what she's involved herself in. And if they don't do anything about it, then we're going to make them all famous as well. I mean, think about how scary that is. An employee for Alabama's DHR is working with Brittany Stapleton and all best friends now with her. That's scary. And that should concern everyone. And I'm supposed to be meeting in about a month. I'm supposed to be meeting with the Attorney General of Alabama. And not to do with any of that, but that's definitely going to be brought up in that meeting now. All right, let me see. What else? While I'm here, why don't I defend myself? Defend myself with what? I don't have to defend myself. Yeah, I don't have to defend myself against someone that's defending a child predator. Now I lost my train of thought. What I was about to talk about next. What was it? Oh, on that same note, man, if you have not listened to Sean Ryan's latest episode with Schlepp on Roblox, make sure you catch that episode. Let me pull it up so I know exactly which so you know exactly which episode it is. And it is not for small ears, okay? Not. But it's stuff that every parent needs to listen to. You need to hear it as a parent. You need to force yourself to sit through it and hear it, what's going on that platform, so you understand why your kids have no business being on there. So it's Sean Ryan show episode 284. Episode 284. And let me bring up the picture so you know what you're looking at. Uh-oh.
What's that?
But I just finished this today, and wow. So this one right here, episode 284, and that's Schlepp, and he was groomed as a child on Roblox by a child predator, and he tells his story. And Schlepp has also been on Chris Hansen's podcast a few times, and he participated in Chris Hansen's documentary that he just released on Roblox, and we're going to talk about that in just a second. But make sure y'all check this episode out. It's wow. It's unbelievable what Roblox is doing and how they are. It's very clear they do not care about the children. They are literally doing more to protect the child predators than the children. So Chris Hansen just released a documentary, the first episode, because it's going to be a series, doc, on Roblox, and the first episode is out, and you don't want to miss it. I watched it a couple days ago, and wow, you don't want to miss that. If you don't have the True Blue network, that's Chris Hansen's network. He owns his own TV network, and it's called True Blue. Let me bring it up. Right there, you see True Blue. That is the streaming app, his streaming app and or network, and you can download that. You can find that on any of your smart TVs, your Roku, Fire Stick, whatever you have. Download True Blue. He's got there's a lot of really cool shows on there. I mean, I'm addicted to this network now, by the way, and I'm not getting paid to put this out, by the way. But I'm addicted to this network. It's got some awesome shows. If you're into true crime and stuff like that, you need to get this, and it's not expensive at all. I don't remember how much it is a month, but it's like, I don't know, and don't quote me on this, but I want to say like $4.99 a month, like $5 a month, something like that. Well worth it. Anyway, download that, and then you'll also be able to watch the full documentary on that they have just finished on Roblox, where they interview tons of people and go into really, really detail and depth on what exactly is going on Roblox. And again, they just released the first episode of that. It's awesome. It's about an hour, and there's a lot more to come. So you don't want to miss that. Check it out. Tell all your friends and family as well. Anyone that you know that has children, any parents, listen to me. If you are a parent, get on True Blue and watch that documentary. It will open your eyes so much. Again, any parents you know, pass that along to them. You could literally save their child from being a victim. But it's a great documentary as well. Caught my 12-year-old nephew trying to do his own, oh my God, his own PDF stings on Roblox. Yeah, that's not good. I want to bring this up, actually. And I've been meaning, I'm going to get this out. I'm going to try to get my team to reach out to this woman to see if she would do a interview with me. She made some comments on one of the
stunner on the house side.
One of the videos I did about Roblox. And let me just pull it up because I don't remember exactly what she said. But she's talking about, my child was made a really good friend on Roblox. And hold on, let me just pull it up.
Roblox is not safe.
Let's see. Let me pull this whole thing up because I want to go over some of these comments and address some of them on Roblox. All right, so this comment, this can happen to any child on the web in general, not just Roblox, which I completely agree. Well, actually, I responded to this one. But I completely agree with that. However, the big difference, Roblox is marketed as a kid's game. It is marketed directly to children. So that is the difference between Roblox and Snapchat and, all the other ones. Now, as far as Discord, and it's the difference between Roblox and Discord, because a lot of this stuff is happening on Discord. And you will hear, again, in that documentary, you'll hear all about that. And you'll hear exactly how they're doing it. I'm telling you, it's eye-opening and it's very educational for parents. But that is one of the biggest differences between everyone loves the Roblox. Roblox is a top game. Unfortunately, that's not what people are using Roblox for, though. Pretty sure they don't have evidence of a Roblox chat making him go to NYC. The mom just thought it was a possibility. Now, this is about Thomas Medlin. This is the video I did on Thomas Medlin. Here, you see him down here. Who's he's missing, and he's been missing since January 6th or 5th, around the first week of January. He's been missing, and he lived on Long Island with his family. Very intelligent kid. Straight A's, very disciplined, very intelligent kid. He told his friends at school that day that he was going to meet someone he had met off of Roblox that evening. He has not been seen since. They found video of him getting on a train to Manhattan, and then going to one of the bridges in Manhattan, and then his phone. That's the last time, or that's the last video they had of him. But no, he told numerous of his friends that day that he was going to meet a friend he had met on Roblox. Now, this person saying Roblox has cooperated with police. That is somewhat true. Roblox is pretending they have cooperated with police. And you know what the Roblox has told police in this investigation so far? Or unless something has changed in the last 3 weeks, let me say that. But up until 3 weeks ago, Roblox had told them they went through all his chats, they pulled all of them, and he had not met anyone on Roblox. Does anyone believe that? I don't. No, I do not believe that whatsoever. I think Roblox is not even being honest with the authorities in a missing kid investigation. Now, again, I'm not saying that to be fact. That is speculation on my part. But it's hard for me to believe they have no evidence on Roblox of this kid meeting a friend when he told all of his friends at school that day he was meeting someone he'd met on Roblox. And I like this comment by Bliss here. He was 15 because people were saying, kind of blaming it on the parents. He was 15. He bypassed the security perimeters she set in place. So how are parents supposed to protect underage kids? So, and this is a good question. And he did. They had made him stop Roblox altogether way before this. He was not allowed to be on Roblox. He promised them he wasn't. When he became missing, and they spoke to some of his friends that evening, trying to find out if anyone knew where he was, and all his friends saying he's supposed to be going to meet someone he met off Roblox, and the mom was like, "No, he didn't have Roblox. He's not allowed to have Roblox anymore. We've been through all of that." And then they found out he had 6 different accounts he had set up on Roblox that he was sneaking around behind his parents' back and doing. That's what 15-year-olds do. And in today's day and age, a 15-year-old is way smarter at technology than most of their parents. That's why it's so important to make sure your children can be open with you and stop setting these just hard rules of no matter what, you're not going to do this, because they're still going to freaking do it. They're just not going to be honest with you about it, and they're not going to tell you about it, and they're going to sneak around and do it. Your kids need to understand they can come to you with any problem whatsoever. In this comment, you have to talk to your kids about all this stuff and trust your child knows better than to talk to strangers online. Let me move this out so you can see my expression. That's how I feel about that comment. Number one, if you trust a 15-year-old, you're crazy. Every one of us was 15 at one point. I would think it'd be probably nearly impossible to find a 15-year-old that didn't lie to their parents quite often. Number one. Number two, it's not about trusting your child. These predators are master manipulators. A lot of times when this stuff happens to these children on Roblox, they have no idea they're about to meet a grown man. They think they've been talking to another 12-year-old the whole time. And so seeing this comment scares the hell out of me that some parents have that mindset. It's not about trusting your child. These people they sit around every single day, all day, looking for victims. They are good at it. They are master manipulators. These kids don't meet someone on Roblox and know that it's a 57-year-old man and then decide, oh, yeah, I'm going to go hang out with them. No, they think it's another child because this is how they've talked to them the whole time. And then they talk them into meeting them somewhere, and then boom, that's it. I love Ronald Reagan, number one, but Miranda said, Ronald Reagan said it best, and I love this quote too. Trust but verify. Exactly. But that comment scares the hell out of me. Because this parent, and I'm not dogging them and saying they're the worst parent ever, they just don't know. My son is very aware, and he doesn't get how kids wouldn't know better. That is the kids that this happens to. Right there. This isn't a Roblox problem. This is any live online communications game and social profiles. The game PC communication device should hold responsibility. No, this is a Roblox problem because Roblox, there's countless examples now of them literally protecting child predators and kicking the people catching the child predators off their platforms and suspending them. Again, Roblox ain't the problem. Now, I agree with this comment somewhat that says Roblox ain't the problem. It says the problem lies in the parents for letting the kid play the game. If you still let your child play Roblox after knowing everything we know now about them, you are the problem. And that may hurt some of your feelings. I'm just being honest with you because I want your child to be protected. I do not want you going through what Thomas Medlin's parents are going through right now. And this comment scares me. My 12-year-old has never played it and never will. Thomas Medlin's parents thought that he wasn't playing it. Now, hopefully this parent is verifying that they're not just trusting. So hopefully they are. Now, this comment, it's not even Roblox. It's the entire internet. Teach your kids to trust you, to come to you. Strangers shouldn't be invited to meet, or your children shouldn't be meeting these online people in person. So I agree with half of this comment. The part I agree with is teach your kids to trust to come to you. Now, this part, again, strangers shouldn't be invited to meet your children and shouldn't be meeting these. Yeah, I agree with that. But again, your child doesn't know they're strangers. This person has been grooming them for 6 months, possibly even a year or longer. They feel like they're best friends now. They think they're their age. Why the parents didn't go with their kids to NYC. What? They didn't know he did. He usually takes the bus home from school, and that day he didn't. Here's another comment that scares the hell out of me. I feel sorry for the parents and the kid, but isn't stranger danger taught by literally every parent? Not to mention 95% of kids have common sense. They know to not trust strangers. Again, this goes into everything I've been saying. Number one, they're not a stranger to them. Child predators are very, very patient. And they will groom and groom and groom and groom. They know when to ask the right questions. They know when to push at the right times. It is up to us as parents to protect our children, not trust our children to protect themselves. Because that's what comments like this are saying. I trust my kid to protect himself. Seriously? Scary. Did his parents meet the people before the 15-year-old kid go to NYC to meet this person? The parents didn't know about any of this. This comment worries me. My kids have played it, and they're now young adults. Well, I guess she's saying I don't know what that means. Are they adults or not? They rarely leave and do stuff and don't really have friends. That is the number one prime target of a child predator. They seek out, again, that's the victims they go after. That's the children they go after. The ones that don't feel like they fit in school and they don't have a lot of friends. That's the ones they go after because those kids are looking for friends, as any kid would. They deserve good friends. And they're looking for one, and one swoops in and becomes a best friend of theirs, talks to them every day. And another thing I want to say about this stranger danger nonsense, because that's what it is these days. That's nonsense. And I'm about to tell you why. Now, we're specifically talking about Roblox, and because child predators, I mean, that's their playground. But as far as child predators in general, as far as children victims, do you know what the largest percentage, and I don't know the exact percentage, but I would say over 80% at least of child victims, do you know who their predators are? They're not strangers. They're family or friends. You need to understand that. That's why I always go back to, and the most important part about all of this is your kids need to know they can come to you. That's the most important. That's the best way to protect your child. That no matter what they do, no matter how bad they screw up, they need to know they can come to you and tell you, hey, I made a big mistake and I need help. Because that's the best way to prevent something bad from happening to your child. If they want to go meet somebody, they need to feel so comfortable with you that they can come and say, hey, I've got this friend I'm going to meet. You say, well, hold on. And then you talk to them. What you don't do is, hold on, I'm texting, I'm busy. No, you're not going. No, you're not allowed to go. That's what you don't do. Because then what's the kid going to do? They're going to go ahead and go meet that friend. But again, back to the stranger danger. That's nonsense these days. Your kids need to know if someone makes them uncomfortable, that they can always, no matter what, no matter who it is, come to you and talk to you about it. If someone touches them, they immediately know to come to you and that they're not going to be in trouble. They're not going to be in trouble no matter what. If you have a 13-year-old, 14-year-old, 15-year-old, 16-year-old, the sextortion is very real and very prevalent now. And that's how a lot of these predators get them roped in. They will talk these children into sending them something inappropriate, such as an inappropriate picture. And then as soon as they do, they've got them. And then and we've talked about this before, but they'll force them to do crazy, crazy things under the threat of, well, if you don't do this, I'm going to release this picture. I'm going to put this picture out for everybody to see. And to a 14-year-old, 15-year-old, 16-year-old, they think that's the end of their life. They think if that picture got out, their life's over. They need to know they can come to you and say, look, I made a mistake, but this is what's happening. And then you as a parent need to go, thank you for coming to me about this. You're not in trouble. Now I'm going to fix it. You understand what I just said? Now, am I saying to go and tell your kids that they can do that? No. You need to have these discussions beforehand for sure of why they should never do that. But what needs to be part of that conversation is, however, I know you're not perfect. No one is. And if you ever make any mistake, no matter, I don't care how bad it is, know that you can come to me. That's where most parents fail. That's the part where most fell at. I couldn't find that comment. I'll have to go back and find it. But anyway, the woman's child was getting groomed, and she was describing it in the comment section of that video. And I started replying to her, and then I sent her some messages. She said that my kid met this person, and they've become really good friends, and they chat on there every day, and they play together on there every day. And this kid keeps on wanting my kid to go to their house and play. And she said she told him, okay, you can, but I need to speak to his mother first. And then she said the mother refuses to talk to her on the phone. Red flag, don't you think? Yeah. So is that a real kid that kid's been talking to and thinking it's their best friend for a year? No. It's a child predator, I guarantee you. And that woman made a comment on that video. The first comment she made was something yeah, my kid's got a good friend on there, and they talk all the time, and I don't know, it scares me. And I commented under that. And I said, you need to understand whoever your kid's talking to is probably not a real kid. And then she commented, well, now they're wanting to go to their house. They keep on telling my kid keeps on asking if I can go to their house. But the mom, I think it's strange that the mom won't talk to me on the phone. And that's what she commented. And I started messaging her, private messenger. No, that is not a kid your kid's talking to. God, it's so scary. The replicates, real school shootings. Yes, I'm glad you brought that up. So, and Slep talks about that on the Sean Ryan episode I pointed out. And they actually go to some of the games, and I have now, since I saw that. There is a game on Roblox. I am not making this up. I saw it today. There is a game on Roblox where you can play, and you are the school shooter for, I've talked about so many of those today. The one that happened in the Northeast. With the elementary kids. I think it was in Connecticut. Sandy Hook. The Sandy Hook. There is a game on Roblox where your kid can be on there playing, and they get to be the school shooter at Sandy Hook, and it looks just like the real school. And it gets worse. The kids in the school that you get to go through there and shoot, it has the real victims' names. Now tell me Roblox is not the problem. I could not believe it. I mean, it's unbelievable. Unbelievable. And the CEO of Roblox is out saying, our game is safe for kids. And that's not the only horrible game on there. There was, I think they said this one got removed. I've never saw this one, but Slep talks about it on that episode. You could go to Epstein's Island. Yeah. And that's what it was called. You could go to PDD's house, to his parties. Yeah, all of these were games on Roblox that your child could go play. I mean, it's sick. And the list goes on and on. I should have known. We're going to get kicked off TikTok. You can't even talk about this stuff. I'm trying to educate people, and TikTok just won't let you. This behavior is not in line with our policies. Reason: feature continuous and monotonous actions without clear objectives of sustaining engagement. That's what they're suspending me for? So not the topic. I don't even know what that means. Continuous and monotonous actions without clear objectives of sustaining engagement. I don't know. All right. I'm telling you, some of the things I see on TikTok on lives, and they're constantly getting me. I don't understand it. I don't. Yeah, make sure you're following me on, because I'm always live on TikTok, YouTube, and Facebook. So if you're just following me on TikTok, make sure you're following me on YouTube. Make sure you're following me on YouTube. And you can find me on YouTube, Agent D Baker. You can also, and that's also where my full podcast are as well. So, but make sure you're following me on there, because I'm telling you, I get banned from TikTok lives about once a month now. And I'm very careful about what we talk. Like, it's just ridiculous. Do I have a moderator on YouTube? Because somebody said, please read comments here. You need to block someone. Oh my God. Okay, team, we failed. I didn't realize we didn't have a moderator on YouTube. Y'all don't listen to this dude. He's insane. I can verify firsthand. This dude's an absolute psycho. I apologize, YouTube. I had no idea I didn't have a moderator over there. Thank you, Denim, for pointing that out. I've never been fired a day from any job, by the way. That's what they're saying. It's ridiculous. I know who this is. I know why he's saying this stuff. This guy should be good friends with our friend Shane Dabbs. And he has the same first name as him because he is also a huge racist. That's why this guy doesn't like me, because I called him out for being a racist. That's why he's saying all this stuff. And I have proof of your racism. And I was never going to bring it out about y'all. You're lucky you contained yourself and knocked me out. Good luck to that, old guy, old man. Knock me out. Okay, I still don't have any moderators on YouTube. All right, we got to go. I don't know. All right. Anyway. Oh, he's definitely the definition of another loser. The funniest thing, he said that he would have knocked me out. Oh, that's funny. There's so much I want to say right now, but I'm going to contain myself. Because that's something... Why? It's always the keyboard warriors. Nobody ever comes up to me in person and says this stuff. Why is that? Why is that? All right. Hey, I appreciate each and every one of you for being on here. I really do, and I mean that. I couldn't do any of this without you all. It means a lot to me, and we're making a lot of great things happen. I think I can announce this now. I have been on Chris Hansen's podcast, by the way, and I think there's a good possibility that will be coming out next week. I just talked to him. We chatted a little earlier today, and but as soon as I find out exactly when, or as soon as that does come out, I will obviously announce that. And everybody be sure to check that out. And it's Have a Seat with Chris Hansen. So, and you can find it on anywhere you listen to any of your podcasts, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, all those. But be sure to check that out. And I think we're going to be doing some more work together. And I mean, he's especially in this field of child predators, he has done more than, I mean, anyone, probably. He's just he's amazing at what he does, and one of the most decorated investigative journalists ever. And again, there's no telling how many kids' lives that Chris Hansen has saved. But very honored to have been asked to be on his podcast, and we talked about some things. So make sure, anyway, I'll put it out exactly when it comes out, but I think it's supposed to be coming out next week. But I'll put that out for sure. But anyway, I couldn't do any of this without you all. It's just amazing, and we keep on growing and growing, and we're going to continue to grow and do bigger and better things. But again, I can't do any of this by myself, and especially with my team. I know they're behind the scenes, but they're awesome. They're just amazing. And team's still growing as well. And I think it's going to continue to grow as well. But anyway, I hope y'all have a great rest of your Wednesday night. And what else was it? Again, I'll keep y'all updated on Anad Blanchard's trial. On that trial. And I purposely, by the way, someone asked me, I purposely am not saying that scumbag's name that took her life. So that's why I'm wording it the way I do. I don't even want to say his name. But anyway, I'll keep y'all updated on that. Hopefully, again, they get finished with jury selection in the next day or so, and we'll get that. And again, I think that's going to turn out the way it needs to as well. But other than that, hope y'all have a great night and rest of your week.
Welcome back to Truth or Recon. I'm Agent D. Baker, a retired narcotics detective, SWAT team member, and U.S. Navy combat veteran of OEF and OIF. With years of real-world experience in high-stakes environments, I have seen firsthand the dangers that lurk both in our communities and now increasingly online.